Right, good evening, and thank you very much for joining me again today, 29 December 2019. And this is day 3 of my discussions as I continue to talk from the coast. I'm down here in Durban, and I'll be discussing my feelings about certain issues and how we plan to work in 2020. So today I want to discuss a very important topic, which is that most successful Zimbabweans, millionaires, business people, influencers, they do not want to give back to the society. They do not want to contribute to the success of future generations. And the result has been that we have only a small number of successful people. So if someone enters into the field of cricket, you'll find out that a few people become successful, and those people become brand names in that field, but no one else comes after them. The same will go for rugby, the same will go for media, the same will go for soccer. If someone becomes successful, they become a millionaire, then they just move away. They do not want to help. So what we end up having is a very big gap. No one is coming up after a few successful people have come up. If you look in Zimbabwe, we have a few millionaires or billionaires. These guys have come up, and certainly what I can say with certainty is that most of them have not set up anything to groom new millionaires. In fact, most of them want to help with school fees. So you hear that I'm paying school fees for 100 kids, or I'm helping with food, or I'm helping with such and such an immediate need. But you rarely find someone who says, I want to groom someone in my industry who's going to do something similar. There seems to be a fear of competition. People fear that if I groom other people, then these people will come up and become my competition. The same, if you see someone who is in media, we have a few people in media. If you say, okay, how many other people have you groomed who are going to do the same thing that you do at the same level at which you're doing them, you see that there are very, very few people. And what I've identified is, and this is my opinion, that our culture as a people, we are people that believes in, if I have done it and I succeed, I used a lot of my resources, I used a lot of my time, I went through a lot of pain to get where I am. Why should someone have it easy? And so what we end up with having is lack of continuity. You can see even in someone who was doing very well in a certain field, their own son or daughter, they're not good in that field. When they pass, that thing goes away. If someone was a good footballer, you find out that in the house, people after they die, the whole project just goes away. We've seen it with musicians, we've seen it also with actors, we've seen it with people that started businesses, and after they pass on. So I think my point is made. Once someone succeeds in our country, either they move away or they separate themselves, but they never try to groom the next group. So if Gambakwe does well, he has got a national platform, he does not want to help other young people to come on that platform because he feels that he is going to lose his space, and then he starts separating himself. He starts developing only himself, and only that particular thing that he's doing happens for 5-10 years, but after 10 years, when he passes, no one else is available to continue. Nothing grows. So we no longer have industries. What we have is individuals that are doing things. We have a person doing something here and a person doing something there. Whereas in other countries, people build industries. If one person does well, they start to group a group of other people to do a similar thing. They create an industry. If someone is a personal trainer, they just don't train themselves. They start grooming other trainers to do other things. So it becomes an industry. If someone is a runner, you see they sponsor an academy, they create more runners. So this brings success, but at a bigger scale. If you look at our players that have played overseas, and I want to mention this with respect. So take Peter Ndlovu, Benjani Maruwaru, all the other guys who played overseas, even Knowledge Muswa. These guys don't have academies in Zimbabwe where they train young people so that we have more young people that can go and play overseas. Instead, when they go to the overseas base, they work on their own personal projects, and then after some time you see they come back, and sometimes most of them they retire, and they haven't managed to create other people, they haven't coached other people. How do you go overseas? How do you succeed? The same thing happens in almost every other industry. A person with special skills rises up, they do what they have to do, they succeed, and then when they finish their parts, we've lost that skill, we've lost that knowledge, there's no continuity, there are no other young people coming up. Similarly, I can give you an example, very interesting example. When people are going to order goods in South Africa, let's say someone is ordering fridge parts, electrical meters, whatever part they're ordering, they will go in a bus, and the next person is ordering TVs, fridge parts, and electrical meters, and all of them will be 100 in a bus. They go and they buy, they spend 1,000 rand each on transport, 1,000 rand each on accommodation, and tomorrow they all go back home. And so none of these people are going to repeat these transactions. So what is going to happen is each one does that one transaction, they go away. No one knows where the things are cheaper in South Africa, where they buy them. No one benefits from buying in bulk. So what we end up having is individuals have done something, but we don't have an industry. An industry would be like if one person was going to be buying televisions, they buy 1,000 televisions in bulk, and then someone would then say, okay, all the people that are selling televisions in Harare, let's go and buy from that guy. And then you still buy them at the same price because they were bought with economies of scale. At the border, you get your VAT. So if things are done formally, the economy also benefits. But now, the way we do things, we do them at a small scale. Everyone does their little bit here and there. When they're done with that transaction, there's no industry, there is no employment creation, there is no savings. Because if you do things efficiently, you save, but there's no savings. This is replicating within the whole economy. Everyone is doing their own bit, and they make a little profit on one transaction. There's no continuity. No other person comes after that to say, I've learned this. How do we make this bigger? How do we continue when that other person who's doing it has stopped? So now let me go to my point. My point is, in the media industry, we've got newspapers. We've got a lot of newspapers in Zimbabwe. We don't have television stations. One person is writing their newspaper here, the other person is writing their newspaper there. But we actually don't have a media industry. We don't have movie houses. We do not have production houses. We do not have arts. So an arts industry where someone can say, I work this way, at this price, and at this level. So the person who gets in today is lucky, but they do not groom other young people to come up and become an artist, an actor, a script writer, a newspaper producer, a distributor, a television mid-house. All these things that should happen, they're not there. Each person is doing their own little thing, and when they're done, it's finished. When we advertised jobs over the past few months with hundreds of applications, it's not clear where all these young people that are coming out of universities are going to go. So we have a problem, and I've just given you one industry. This is replicating everywhere. Every child that is coming out of university, it doesn't have a clear industry in the country which can develop year upon year. And the only way to solve this, from what I think, is through the creation of hubs. And hubs are not created by government. Hubs are created by private sector. They are created by people that have done well. And I am totally against this issue of school fees. When someone says, I've paid school fees for these people at universities, you're not done. If you're a millionaire, if you're a billionaire, if you're a successful, well-known person, you need to pass your skills down to other people. You need to put funds and resources for people to go somewhere and work together, and that needs a hub. So this is what we're trying to do with the media industry in Zimbabwe, and I'm laying out the vision now. We are planning to set up a hub, somewhere where people can come together, work together on media, and we start creating a media industry. And as I said, we need to create 100 Gambakwes, people who do news, newspapers, script writing, television, acting. And we start saying, this year we have 5, next year we have 10, next year we've got 20. And after 10 years, we have a complete industry, because each person that comes, they must also commit to train, to develop other people. And then we have a place where we say, this is where our artists, if they want to go, they come here. So it has to be a physical place. We have places like that in Zimbabwe. What has been lacking is people that are influential, people that have money, that can come and pour in that money, and proper marketing. So this is what we're going to be giving into the market. This is a new thing that we're going to be bringing into the market in 2020. We want to start developing a media industry, not just people here and there doing different things. So I'm going to keep this very, very short for WhatsApp audience. I want to make sure that our WhatsApp audience gets this message. So I'll keep this short. But this is a discussion that I'm going to continue another day. The need to create industries, instead of when someone succeeds, they just go their own way. They say, my part is done, and that is the end of the story. But thank you very much for watching. If you receive this on our WhatsApp channel, please send it to as many people as possible.